featuring Joe Posa as Joan Rivers. Find out what becomes a legend most as Joan pulls back the curtain and interviews some of the most formidable drag performers out of drag. Discover how each drag icon began and how they stay relevant while balancing our personal life. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy as we kibitz with the divas with their guard down and tits off. And now, kibitz without your tits. Okay, time for hair and makeup queen. And now, please welcome Joe Posa as Joan Rivers. Okay! Give yourselves a nice round of applause for being here. Happy to see you. Happy to see you. Happy to be here. Yeah. Now, it's fucking family week. Let's talk about that. I wasn't gonna go there right away, but I hate fucking kids. Can we talk about that? Oh, do you like kids? I was on Commercial Street. I had a lovely lunch at Ross's Grill, and I came out of the day, and there was a woman, this mother, pushing, three ugly kids, pushing three ugly guys, make way for a mother, make way for a mother. I think to myself, you know what, lady? Next time, give your husband a blowjob. There'll be more room for both of us. I hate kids, unless you're Helen Keller, because she couldn't talk. But I hate fucking kids. Yes. And when you're on American Airlines in first class. What's your name, my darling? Kent, you have money. Is that your husband? You little slut. Not your husband? Are you dating? Just oh, you got a nice vibrator. That's perfect. I use the microphone, so it's fine. I cleaned it before the show. No, I have a very active sex life. Yes. I only wish I had a partner, but it's very active. But the point is, I want to share this with you because I like this group. I fly American Airlines, yes I do. And always when you're in first class, there's these like shit kids kicking the back of your chair. Ever happened to you? Like, lady. I think to myself, where is Casey Anthony when you need her? Where? Oh please, there are two sides to every story. Think about it. Susan Smith, who drowned her kids? Have you ever been in a car with two 4-year-olds for 8 hours? Asking questions like, Mommy, do cars float? You'll soon find out. Like a family week. But you're here, and I want to know, because before we start, I want to know our audience. Who is single tonight by applause? Come on. Mostly this side of the room, so these are where the issues are. These are where the issues are. Oh, we know you have issues, lady. And then, who's married or in a relationship? Come on. Who just wants to get fucking laid tonight? Me too. I can't get lucky. I tried phone sex. I got an ear infection. I can't get lucky. But I was dating an older gentleman over the winter. Bill, old. Every time he gave me hickey, he left his teeth in my neck. It was awful. He said, you want to meet my family? I said, sure. He took me to the cemetery. You're a good group, a drunken group. Oh, God. And the pandemic finally over. I know it's tough. There's all this shit going around. But I will not wear a mask anymore. Do you know how much money I paid for this face? Can we talk about it? Would you buy a Ferrari and keep it in the garage? No! My face is like a J-Lo movie. It might not be very good, but there's a lot of people that worked really hard on it. Yes! budget was huge. Yes! Oh, God. The pandemic, but now we can be here tonight, you know, we can dance in the clubs, you know, it's like booze, sex, booze, sex. It's great training if you plan on going into politics. Fabulous! And I'm working again. I'm like a hooker during Fleet Week. I'm saying yes to everything. Yes! Yes! So speaking of yes, where are the gays in the room by applause? Best audiences in the world. They laugh at anything, they're so fucking stupid. Best audiences. But you can't make jokes about Barbara Streisand, how ugly she is. No, you lose them. Well, she's an can we joke? With the cross eyes? She's the only person that can walk across the street, not look to the right or the left and get there safe. It's like... And you can't make jokes about a gay icon, Judy Garland. I mean, it's like... Well, she sang Over the Rainbow under the piano the last 10 years of her life. Think about it. Where are the lesbians? Good, stay the fuck out. It's like lesbians in Chinese, they never laugh. I don't know what the... It's like Rosie O'Donnell. Is she here? Well, she's a tough dyke. She douches in Gatorade. Am I wrong? The pills are kicking in. Perfect. This side of the room. What's your name? I know you. Are you married? What's going on? Happily single. Issues, drunk, alcoholic, drug addict. And who's married gays here? Married? Oh, God. Is this not a difficult question? Are you married, yes or no? Yes! To each other, yes! You're married. How long are you married? 43. Give him a round of applause. 43. You're both bottoms. I don't know how it works. Who proposed to who? I want to know, because none of the gays are able to... Who proposed to who during the marriage? You know, look how quiet the room got. No, because I want to know, when a gay man proposes marriage, does he get down on both knees? That's what I want to know. Where are the straight women and men? Where are the straights? Over there, that bitch. Hello! Married? Sorry, she's passing the Bud Light over to buy 2 drinks, you cheap fuck. She's sharing a Bud Light in a can. You're sharing on a lesbian? I mean, what the fuck? Now you're married, the two of you? No. You're just screwing. No. Get a ring, no diamond, no hymen, get a fucking ring. And married for money. This is before we get to the shit. Married for money and fake orgasm. That's what you do. Married for money, because all these girls, they say, I want to marry for love, I want to marry for love. I spit on love. No, I spit on love. You don't need to be in love to have an orgasm. No, you find an old pig with a lot of money, and you make him take you to a furrier, and you say, should I get the sable or the mink? They'll say, take both. You'll have an orgasm, and you're not having a life. And it's easy for gay men to fake orgasm, you just spit on the guy's back. True, but the point? Gone too far. You're a great girl. We're gonna have fun. You here for a good time? KIBITZ without your tits. It's a brand new concept. I'm gonna interview some of the most formidable drag performers, but they're out of drag. Amazing. You can applaud, because they are iconic, amazing performers, not only in this town, but all over the country, all over the world. Tonight, you're, you know, you have, they're both friends, they're so special. We have Brandy Roberts, aka Brandy Roberts. Amazing. And we have Russ King, aka Miss Richfield, 1981. So without further ado, let's start the show. Hit it, my darling. Not yet. Hold the video, my darling. Not yet. You're cute, but not that cute. It's like... No, look, it's like Ellen DeGeneres. What the fuck? What was that? Look, there it is, like the Ellen DeGeneres set. Look at that. before we get started, I have all my cue cards and stuff because you know I'm old. But I'm gonna start. I gotta get as happy as you. I'm gonna get a drink, and I want to introduce you. And he's gonna be here with me tonight. It's the gay son I never had because I have Melissa. Yeah, she's. We're very close, Melissa and I. I speak to her every single day, and I say the same thing. Pick up. I know you're there. But tonight, I have the gay son I always wanted. Mel, come up here, Mel. Give her a round of applause. Mel, the gay son I never had. You look like Chaz Bono. But I love you, and we're going to start things out. Mocktail or a cocktail? I think I'll just have a sparkling water tonight. Can you bring that up? Why not? Because I love your drinking. What are you drinking? What's your name? You? Arnie? Nice to see. Where you from? Boston. Oh, Boston. Very good. You married? Single? What's going on? Widowed. Oh, God. Oh, let's not go there. No, I was a widow too. 1987 Edgar. Where it was my fault. We were making love and I took the bag off my head. My fault. My fault. But mazel tov, my darling. I'm glad you're with us. I'm so happy with it. And what I love. I got out of that one. Thank you, my darling. Cheers, raise your glass, mazel tov. To everyone in the audience and to our special friends. You're so great. To a wonderful rest of the summer. You're so great. And I love the New England cocktails. That's what I love coming here to Provincetown. Because you have the Rose Kennedy, you know, which is like vodka soda cran. You know, you have and lime. Oh, I fuck the fruit. Don't say that in this town. Fuck the fruit. And then you have what is it? Cape Codder, which is vodka cran. Vodka cran, no sir. And then you have a Chappaquiddick, which is really just a Bloody Mary. I mean, it's like a little watered down. But the point, too soon. Oh God, we're gonna start. Are you ready for a great time? Share this with you. I don't know, you know, because I can feel the love in the room. We were supposed to have another guest tonight, Thirsty Burlington, aka Cher, who's a dear friend, but he had some issues and certain things personally, so he's not here. But filling in right away is my first guest, and he said yes right away. So right away, no, and he's a dear friend. So I just want to say that Randy Roberts, yes, he's an actor, a singer, a director, and a world-renowned female impersonator hailing from Norfolk, Virginia. He started community theater and found a niche in female impersonation, first in small bars, and then in Virginia and the Carolinas, and then he moved to Miami, and then he toured the country in the revue Masquerade a la Cage, and then he performed in Las Vegas, in Boylesque. Some of you may know that show, Kenny Kermay, he was fabulous, and he was Ann Miller in that show, and I saw the video. It was absolutely amazing. And he performed in Madrid in a show called Mascara. We'll talk about this stuff. And where he began creating his one-man show in Madrid. And now he works all over the country, in casinos, theaters, clubs, men's rooms, anywhere he can perform. No. From Honolulu to San Juan, Chicago to Key West. I think this is his 24th season at La Di Da in Key West. Let's applaud that. We'll clarify that. That's a big deal. He appeared on One Life to Live as Cher, the soap opera, and he was featured on the 10th season of NBC's America's Got Talent, which is great. You can applaud. It's fabulous. We're sharing the love tonight. Now he's starring in his show, One of the Girls, at the Post Office Cabaret. I believe it's Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 7. The times may vary, but I think it's at 7. All season. But before we pull back the curtain and meet the man without the tits, let's see the diva at work. Take a look. Here we go.
Let's go, girl.
First of all, there you go. We want to get you, what would you like? A mocktail, cocktail? What would you like, my darling? Make it fast. It's only an hour.
Just a bottle of water.
A bottle of water. There you go. Mel, bring it up. So it's so good to see you, Mr. Mayor. And it's Randy Roberts, a.k.a. Randy Roberts. So that's your name. That's your drag name. Can you share a real name? What's going on in that department?
It is a stage name. Randy's my real name. Roberts is not. That came out of the phone book, actually.
Oh, okay.
My first drag name. I had a drag name when I was in Norfolk, Norfolk.
Norfolk. Well, I'm not from there. I'm from New York. Who gives a shit? It's like, no, I care. Norfolk. We learned something. Norfolk. Okay. Thank you. Open it. Cheers. Let me toast with you because you're here and you came in the 11th hour. My cheers.
11th hour. You're talking at 9 o'clock in the fucking morning.
So your name. So Randy.
In Norfolk, Virginia, at the College Q Club, I started doing drag, and it wasn't pretty. Not that it's got much better. Everybody I was hanging out with at the time they were soap opera fans, and we had an Erica Kane, and we had some singers at Dusty Springfield, and one of them said, we don't have a Dorian Lord yet. And they named me Dorian Lord, and when I started doing drag, I was Dorian Lord.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was,
and she's One Life to Live.
She's One Life to Live, Robin Strasser.
Robin Strasser.
And when I shot One Life to Live, she wasn't there that day, but I have many photos of me sitting in her apartment. Dressed like Cher.
So it started, so you did a lot of community theater, and then I read that the Rocky Horror Picture Show is what really catapulted you to want to do drag.
I don't know about catapult necessarily.
Or inspired.
Senior year of high school, I was in repertory in high school, and we went to Richfield, Virginia for a children's theater festival. I adore children, battered and fried. And we decided, they let us know we're going to go to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and so I raided the wardrobe department of the theater, of the repertory company, and I grabbed a big blonde wig, and I grabbed a bra, and I got a dance leotard, and a skirt, and stockings, and I happened to have a pair of black high heel slides. I can't remember where I got them, and did my makeup and wore a white bra underneath a black dance skin, which is never a good idea. It's like you just scream, whoa! And went to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I went, well, that was fun. And then I graduated high school and got dared, yes, to enter a pageant in Norfolk. Once again, wore that lovely leotard with the white bra. This time they had a spotlight. So when a spotlight hits a black leotard with a white bra underneath it, it just screams through the black. And I didn't know much about drag makeup, so I used clown white to cover my beard. And then I took liquid CoverGirl. So let's put a pink on top of a white and set it with baby powder. Yes.
Oh, no, really?
Oh yeah. And I wore blue eyeshadow, which was for a warning. It was a preface to Ann Miller. And
Yes.
Big lashes and a wig called Riri. I looked like Rosanna Dana on a bad day. And when it came time for an evening gown, I thought, well, I'm going to be classy, and I grabbed one of those, back in the day, your mothers had these pink plastic lifts that had 4 long wires, and they would use it to lift the teased hair back up. So I pulled my hair back and put the pink plastic thing in there to hold it back on the side in the black hair. So there's a big pink splotch. Somewhere there's a photo. It's never going to be seen in public, I can promise you that.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
And you're known for the divas you portray. Bette Midler. How did that all start? Doing the personality. Yes, you're gonna put Bette Midler, Cher, even me. I think you impersonate me. Is that right?
Can we show? Yes, over there. Just
come on.
Yes, grow up.
Oh, grow up, you.
Oh, grow up, you.
Fuck you.
Oh.
Who are you wearing?
I'm a Jonah.
Ow.
I'm wearing the car.
Tajay.
Who are you wearing?
None of your fucking business. Get your own act.
You told me in the dressing room. I know who you're wearing.
You got to tell your friends. Don't point, it's rude. But how did the divas?
The divas.
The divas come about.
The first one I impersonated was during my lip syncing days. I did Judy Garland, and I just loved her, and I started doing her, and that was a hit. And Judy Garland. That was the first one. Then when I moved to Florida, I was working on a harbor cruise ship. I don't know if any of you know the Spirit of Boston. So I opened the original one in kindergarten. And we took the ship down to Florida for the winter, and I went to a drag show at the Newport Beach Hotel. And the show was called The Foam Rubber Follies.
Okay.
And they had all the impersonations, and I thought, oh shit, I can do that. And I hadn't done drag in a while, so I auditioned. And they hired me. And I did Ann Miller and Judy Garland. This was lip syncing, and that progressed. And then I did another show, The Masquerade a la Cage, where I think I did 6 characters. I looked like no one, but they didn't care. I did Edith Piaf with this nose, you know. And I remember I walked out on stage one night to do Judy Garland. I heard a woman go, "Harry, isn't she dead?" So, you know, they don't believe what they see.
I'm dead too, so, you know.
You look really good for dead. You look really good for dead.
So vocally, you studied in school, so the voices came out.
I was in chorus in high school, and that was about it for studying voice.
Really?
But I've worked with so many people and listened to what people say you should and shouldn't do, and I know some vocal coaches that have said, drop your jaw, when you're singing this sound, press your tongue down, the little things, and that's always in the back of my mind. And I know, so pull with the diaphragm,
Lift your palate.
lift your palate, lift your pelvis, lift your pelvic floor, stop your, I'm like, what? So I just sing.
You just listened and learned,
But I wouldn't sing in drag for the longest time because I kept thinking, I'm a man, I'll sound like a man, but they believe the voice from the face it's coming out of. That's what I realized. So that's, you know, I could sound like Lauren Bacall. She sounded like a man. Look,
That's right. And I know you still perform the country as Randy Roberts male. You perform out.
Oh yeah, I work out of drag.
All over. I know you work with Lucy Arnaz doing shows, and she's a good friend of yours.
Yeah.
And you perform out of drag in tux with. So you kind of do both.
I go both ways.
Ambidextrous. Yeah, you go both ways. And I want to show some of the photos of the looks, just because we have them. I can see in the monitor.
Okay.
This is one of your looks. I can see there.
Where do you see?
Well, it's right behind. It's here
Okay.
behind me.
I see that.
I don't want to check. You see that red gown? That's gorgeous.
Thank you. That was by Naeem Khan, who so he was when Halston would do a beaded outfit.
Yes.
Halston would draw an outline, and Naeem would design the bead pattern, and then Naeem went out on his own. He used to be Riazi, that was his label, and now it's Naeem Khan, so he made that for me.
Fabulous, fabulous. And we have another shot of like a headshot. Oh, that's
Right.
great. The hair. You always red. I always see you as red, Randy Roberts.
It was brown. It used to match my hair. Natural hair. A color that my hair was. I used to be that. Then I tried red one time and liked it. That's less red now.
It's a little less. It's a little
Right. More natural.
It's more natural. Like me, natural blonde, not. And we have another. Thank you, Andrew.
All the redheads, yeah.
Look at you, sexy.
I love that boa.
You look
It's
great.
like your coat.
Do you?
Turned into a boa.
It's just so good. Do you? And so I also did my research, and you approach the work not only vocally but physically. Physically, you embody the women. Is that something you need to do? Is feel the Bette Midler feel, the energy?
You've got to show what the person does. I mean, if you're going to impersonate someone, you can't walk around like a truck driver and sing like, well, you can with Cher, but you can't walk around. You have to have it. You have to have a different walk for each of them. I mean,
absolutely.
Bette kind of minces across the stage sometimes and has certain mannerisms, and Judy had did the grapevine and had hand mannerisms, and Joan, you know. Who else? By Phyllis Diller, there's a different pose there to work with.
Does that come naturally, or do you have to study
You study it.
You watch it, or does it really come more naturally?
Some of it's got to click quickly, or it's not going to work for me. If I have to work too, I don't like to work that hard.
Got it.
I just don't like to work. I'm lazy. I just figure it's maybe.
Well, you're not lazy in the career because you've been all over. You really work very hard. But probably in the findings out, you're a little bit.
Because I've tried, like I did Lady Gaga for a year or two, and I realized no.
Right.
I am a couple of years older than she is, which makes it a little.
Do you work out? Because you're so svelte and thin. I hate you. How do you? Do you work out? You ever mentioned it?
I do. I go to the gym. I try to go 5 days a week.
Okay.
Sometimes
Cardio mostly?
No cardio.
No cardio.
No, I ride my bike everywhere. I do 30 minutes, 35 minutes, non-stop.
Okay.
Weights, and I don't want to get too big because then it's not pretty on stage. I lived in Atlanta in 2008, and I had a workout partner. And you know, when you have somebody with you, you push yourself a little more. And I was getting big, and I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah, and I saw a video of me on stage to share it. It was like this. And I'm like, turn back. Nope. Okay, so I just swelled back down. I'm not kidding. I looked like.
But those arms you showed me backstage, if you go like this, show them.
Show them!
Look at this. Look at this. It's amazing.
That's all right. It's all right.
So the workout routine is very.
Well, it's also for health.
And for health.
I feel better when I work out. I don't feel as good when I don't.
I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine in the audience. Said, you get to a point, you gotta be heart healthy. You gotta be physically healthy. And to keep the breath going when you're on stage, you need to keep everything
to fit into the
tight.
clothes.
You gotta keep it tight. My vagina's not that tight, but everything else is
Are you
tight.
tricked on it?
Can we mix it up a little bit? And Andrew, turn the lights up, and Mel, let's pass the mic. And if anyone has a question, let's ask it. So feel free, because we want to. Anyone has a question for Mr. Randy Roberts? Let's ask it, please. It's all good. Right here in the front. Hello. Yes.
I'm a girl who drag. What is it that you really enjoy about it?
About drag itself or the performing?
Being in drag
Being in
and
drag?
performing.
Nothing.
And
No,
are you in drag? Are you ever in drag when you are?
If I'm not paid for it, I'm not in it. So it's very seldom at home. I love the costumes. I love once everything's on, it's fun to create that look. And I think for me it comes from acting as well, creating a character and making it fully realized character to work with. The costumes are so much better in drag than it is for boy parts. I mean, look there, look here. You know, that's so great. It really is. And putting all that together, that's fun. And I used to paint, now I just paint here.
Absolutely.
So for me, that's what the drag is.
That's fabulous. Anyone else? Raise your hand real nice and high. Oh, right here.
Of course not. She asked if I make my own beautiful costumes. I can fix a rip. I can fix a scene that's come apart. I can rhinestone like a motherfucker. But I don't have the patience to cut out the proper pattern pieces and do 87,000 pins and sew it properly and then fit it. And then you have to have somebody else fit it on you. And no, I don't do that. And I can't just. I can say what I don't like. And I'm not sure I can draw what I really like. I start drawing it and then I erase it and somebody has to come in and help me with that. So no, I don't think I am.
Anybody else? Feel free. Randy Roberts is in the house. Right there.
Oh,
there you go.
Wait. Hello.
Hello.
So, I have seen many Joan Rivers impersonators throughout the years, and you are by far the best. No comparison. So thank you. Really.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. What's your first name? What's your name?
Larry,
Larry. Thank you, Larry. Where are you from?
Connecticut.
Very good. I appreciate that very much, and I really, really thank you. Thank you for that. Anyone else have
That was a great question for me.
I know. I was like, what about this bitch? She, no. Thank you. Anyone else have a question? Right there on the, oh, great. House left, stage right there. Pretty too, perky too.
Run, Mel, run.
Hello. I wanted to know, which is your favorite female to impersonate and why?
Honestly, what you saw on the screen is my favorite because I don't have to sound or look like anybody in particular. I can just, it's my mask to do the songs that I can't do out of drag, but Cher's a hell of a lot of fun. And it's, growing up watching her so much, it wasn't so hard to get the mannerisms and the look down. It took a while for the voice, but everybody, woo, you know. It's like you can give Cher classes, but she's fun. People love her. I mean, it's amazing the response she gets. So that's fun, but I do love doing that came out wrong. I like it.
Anyone else, real quick?
That's enough, I think. Let's turn the
Let's that's not a pretty group anyway. Turn the lights down.
I never said that, but I thought it.
No, you are. So family, big family, little family, supportive family.
Very supportive. I have two older sisters. And my mother, she's still alive. My dad died when I was 11 from heart disease, which is why I work out and why I try to stay healthy. But my family's very, very supportive. My mother didn't know about the drag. I never really came out. Not like I really had to. But my older sister saw a photo of me in drag, and it was a particularly good one back then. And I said, don't tell Mom, I'll tell her when I'm ready. And the next day, we're on a lunch cruise on the new Spirit of Norfolk. And it's my sister and my 3-year-old nephew and my 1-year-old niece. We're sitting at lunch, and I remember it clearly. My sister's there, my mother's here, I have my fork. I have a new potato on the fork, and I'm going here, my mom goes, so when you do female impersonation, do you do famous people? And I go, sometimes. And that was my coming out in drag to my mother. I said, give me the picture. I said, well, you already told her, give me the picture. And I showed her the picture, and she went, God, your lips are gorgeous. And that is the support of my mother ever since. She's been to all my shows. One new potato. Picture a sister of mine. And they're all 5'4" or shorter, and broad where a broad should be broad, and they hate the fact they can't wear any of my clothes. It's great.
I love it. That's hilarious. That's great. And speaking of eating well, taking care of yourself, I know we've had breakfast many times. And your favorite, what do you eat in the morning? I've been with you.
It's not that interesting.
I've even picked up the damn check. Tell the fucking audience.
I have a 4-egg white with 1 yolk omelet with a shitload of spinach in it every morning, because I figure if you have your vegetables in the morning, you can eat any damn thing you want later. So I get my spinach in the morning, sometimes some broccoli.
I was over there. Remember we were there
Yes.
in Key West, and you said the greener the better. It came out of like
I say when you think you have too much spinach in there, put a little more. I do. I like a little eggs with my spinach. You saute it all together, and you eat it, then you're done, and you know.
That's right. And speaking of Key West, so did I get it right? 24th season?
This August, I start my 25th year at La Di Da.
Crystal.
Very lucky, very grateful. Well, it's the 23rd year of the Crystal.
23rd year.
Because I did 2 seasons in a room, maybe 2, where the lady in behind the guy in that chair, like that's the bar, and the stage was tiny, 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 and we would cram, and in the middle of it is this huge bar that takes up most of the space. We would cram 140 people in there, which is why they built the Crystal Room.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. And so it's your 25th coming up, and in Provincetown, you skipped a year. When was the last time you worked at Provincetown?
Well, not this past, well, wait a minute.
The COVID happened, so.
But I would come up and do 3 or 4 nights, but not a whole summer, because as fun as it looks for everybody else on the scooter.
Scooter. You're gonna share on the scooter. You've seen it. How is that for you?
Well, the first couple of years it was kind of fun. But then I found people throwing their kids in front of me to get me to stop for a photo. I mean, literally, stop! I said, come see the show. We just want a picture. I'm like, fuck you. Come see the show.
I know.
And now people are lovely. They don't stop because they know better.
They know
but I'm
better.
actually smiling now. I stop. I take pictures. You know, I don't kick people as often.
No, I agree. I think after post-COVID.
Carla, I think I'm in your chair.
Oh, did it?
Just
a little bit.
It groaned a little.
It groaned a little. Okay.
I don't know if you were at the last one. There was something happened with the chair.
If it's
fine. It's fine.
We don't
It's
want
fine.
Miss Richfield to go through the scene.
Oh,
well, maybe we do.
Yeah, never mind.
She'll
It's
work.
fine. The chair's fine.
The chair's fine.
It's
They're almost. I want to play a little game. We're going to move it along. So this is great. So Provincetown. This is so you're back.
I started here in '99.
99.
I did the post office, the Crown. I took 2 years off. I did the post office again. Went back to the post office 1 or 2 years. I did the art house for a few years. Took off a year. Came back. On and off, and then I would do a few days here and there, and now I'm back for the whole summer. But I'm only doing 3 nights a week because I didn't want work to get in the way of enjoying the summer.
Good for you.
And it's great. It's so much better that
You
way.
deserve it.
It's lovely. I'm loving it.
Good for you. You deserve it.
And my Barker assistant is over there filming the whole thing. Danny's over there.
So sweet. I want to play a little game with you that I came up with that I think is great.
All right.
It's called Kiss It or Crush It. And I can see the monitor, so it's like but they're going to show two images, and you tell me which one you prefer. So the first one is, here we go, my dog. Salty or sweet?
Savory, salty.
Salty. You're salty.
I'm salty, yeah.
You're salty. Okay, let's go on to that. Cake or pie?
There's no cake, so I'll
We're not asking you, we're asking Mr. Mann.
But I didn't see what kind of cake it was, and there's no photo of the cake. Chocolate cake?
Oh, it's a chocolate cake. Oh, they didn't put it up.
You're hiding my
It's
cake.
a chocolate, any cake.
Chocolate. Well, if it's chocolate.
If it's chocolate.
See, dessert is not dessert if it's not chocolate.
Okay, pie is nice.
But you've got to have chocolate.
You like chocolate?
I like dark chocolate.
Like your man. Dark.
Yes, occasionally.
Occasionally. On to the next. What do we have? Oh, love or money? Oh, you didn't even say it. Money. Okay. Beach or mountains? Beach. Okay, well you live in
I like warm.
You like warm.
I like to visit the snow once a year. Even if it's a flurry, I'm like, good, that's winter. I'm done. Back to the beach.
That's it. That's it. Come on, let's move on to that. We have dine in or dine out.
Dine in.
Who's cooking?
My husband, Frank Roboto.
So it's Italian. That would be pretty good. I like dining out. I like both actually.
You like both?
I cook a lot for
Do you
myself.
cook?
Oh,
Do
yeah,
you
I
cook? What's one of your specialties? Like, what do you?
A spinach omelet in the morning. I do a lot of quinoa. I do like a quinoa risotto with seafood, and I I've perfected my mother's brisket. Yes, I do a good brisket. What else do I do? Salmon, halibut. I really like fish.
Fish, you love it. You're Jewish, right?
Yes. Well, I was raised. I like to say I'm Jew-ish. Because growing up, I was bar mitzvah, but growing up, my mother made the best sweet and sour pork you will ever have. So I was like, okay. I like the food and the traditions, but don't tell me who I can and cannot sleep with, and don't tell me what I
don't do that either. Yeah. Okay, so the next one we have is passenger or driver?
And a car driver.
But you take limos sometimes, don't you?
Not limos, but a nice car, Nice. It depends on who's driving as well, because some people drive like crazy.
Oh, yeah, definitely, definitely. So the next, this is mild or hot, your food, like
In the middle.
in the middle.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, in the middle. No, I like one hot slice of jalapeno, then I cry, and then I want it mild. But if it's medium all along, I like that.
Okay. Next, heels or flats?
Please.
That's a shit flat. Look at that.
I was gonna say, would you wear that piece of shit? Well, in drag, I prefer a flat. A heel. I don't know anymore. I like a heel. What can I do? Even out of drag, a little heel doesn't hurt.
A little heel. Yeah, I get it. Looks or brains?
Both.
Well, if you had to choose one, come on.
How ugly are they?
Well, look at the screen. Gorgeous or intellect? Gorgeous. I mean gorgeous.
Am I marrying them or are we fucking?
Yeah, just,
I'm fucking the gorgeous when I'm marrying the brains.
Okay, that's the answer. I like that.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have pitcher or catcher?
I don't play sports.
Good answer. Randy Roberts. Oh my God. That's great. We're gonna, first of all, we're gonna show your poster. You are here. Let's pull up that image any moment we can. You're at the post office cabaret.
You bitch, you made it wider so I look fat. Fuck you.
Well, that's the place they did it for. But Tuesday, Wednesday,
And Saturday, 7 o'clock.
Every night.
But I'm not on this Saturday. They have something scheduled in advance, so I have a Saturday night
Oh,
off.
good. What are you gonna do?
I'm going to see Donna McKechnie at the Art House.
Oh, she's at the Art House. Okay. You know all the celebrities. You know them all. I know like Lucy.
Not all of them.
Who do you like? Marilyn Mays. She's a good friend of yours.
Yeah, I love her dearly.
She's a
She'll be at the end of the month.
She's
I mean, the end of August.
A
Yes.
good friend of mine. The audience is a friend of mine. Who else do you, just real quick, name drop. What? Who else? Jeter?
Met her a couple times. We're not friends. She might remember me. No, she's lovely. But she's really kind of cool.
Who else?
Faith Prince, who was just here, she's a friend. Melissa Erico, she's a friend.
Nice.
You can like call and text.
Yes, no, I know you know.
I don't.
That's
I don't
lovely.
know.
That's enough.
That's
good.
okay.
That's good. And so this is, and I want, I could talk to you all night. And we're gonna have Michael, my photographer, take a little photo to document
Is
this
Russ
moment.
here?
It's He's hanging out. Where is Michael? Michael, you want to do a little photo? Did you? Yeah, we're gonna just document
You want me to
this.
get on that
No,
side?
just like this. Just like
Okay.
this. Ready? Glamour. Don't knock anything over. 1, 2.
You're only taking
Good.
one.
Keep going. Keep going. I'm paying you well, you asshole. Come on.
You're paying him?
Yes. Okay. Randy.
You better
Roberts.
Photoshop the fuck out of these, Michael.
Has been a great gift for you. You can open it here. How do I?
Thank you, Jasper. I
Oh,
appreciate
Jasper.
it.
Jeff's in the house.
Why is this Tiffany?
It's not Tiffany's because I knew you were going to be here at 9 a.m. I couldn't get to Tiffany's. If I knew yesterday, I would have been. What is it? What did it show us? It's a little something for being here, and it's a. What is it?
It's a scented candle. Fiji waterfalls.
I thought it was perfect for you. Thank you, Mr. Randy Roberts. Thank you. Randy Roberts. Oh God, so much fun. Oh, I learned so much. And I learned how gorgeous he is. Is he not, as a woman, gorgeous? Because I'm an old bitch. First of all, I was an ugly child. Can we talk about, I was an ugly child. My parents never wanted me. I'm going to talk about me for a little bit. They didn't want me. When my mother went into labor, she put on pantyhose. Think about it. No, they hated me when the doctor said, you know, it's a girl. The nurse, they wanted a second opinion. They didn't know. The mother looked at me and looked at the afterbirth. She thought she had twins. She didn't know. Then I got older and they said, why? They would always say, John, why can't you be more like your cousin Sheila? Sheila had died at birth. I mean, it was awful. Horrible. My bath toys were a radio and a toaster. Oh! I think I'm kidding. I'm a Jew. For Hanukkah, they got me a battery that said, toy not included. I live in New York. Where are my New Yorkers? Thank God. New York. They would take me to Central Park, you know, and they would say, see that man in the funny little trench coat? Ask him if he has a van. And then you get older, you know, I was an ugly child. I had a great career, which is great. But then you get older and then the vagina drops. You know, no one tells you that you're young. What's your name? You, I'm looking at you. She looked away. Hello, lesbians? It's like Oprah and Gail. They're just best friends. I don't lick my best friend's vagina. Why don't you? We're going to go shopping. Then we'll get a mani and a pedi. And then we'll have lunch. Now, so you're sisters. Nice to see you. Where are you from? Oh, thank you for being here. You're so gorgeous, the two of you. Because you're young, your vaginas are supple and tight. Think about it. This bitch, it's on the floor like me. Think about it. My vagina is to the floor. It's horrible. The other day I looked down and I said, why am I wearing a bunny slipper? And why is it gray? And my mother said to me, Joan, one day your vagina's going to drop and it's a good thing. You can make love in the bedroom and still watch TV in the living room. It's a good thing. And it's dry. What was your name again? Candace. Is it dry, the vagina? Mine is so dry as well. Camels follow me home. 3 Jewish men are trying to rent out my vagina instead of going to Miami. Think about it. I took a bath, it's so dry. I took a bath before the show tonight and all the water went. And in that moment I thought to myself, if only Whitney Houston had a dry vagina, she would still be alive today. Yes! Yes! Truth be told, the dog even agrees with me. We're gonna move this along. I love this. I hope I can get through this because I love this. These are friends. These are friends of mine, and they said yes, they will be here. If I can only get this fucking chair. Okay. Okay. We're gonna move things along, and we're gonna get to my next special guest, Russ King, aka Miss Richfield, 1981. From Richfield, Minnesota, where butter is spice and gravy is a beverage. A national treasure, crowned beauty queen of her first ring of Minneapolis. She played to sold-out venues in New York City, Chicago, San Francisco, and of course with Atlantis events. Recently she was in Cancun, Mexico. She's also continues to do her virtual bingo bonanza on Stream Ally on Monday nights at 8 p.m. We'll talk a little bit about that. This is Miss Richfield's 20th year in Provincetown. Let's applaud that. 20th year. Her brand new show is called Cancel Cultured Pearls, and it opened Memorial Day weekend, and she's here just 2 weeks after Labor Day. So the whole season, a little bit later than Labor Day. And she's at the Pilgrim House at 9 p.m., and she's absolutely hysterical and so much fun. But before we pull back the curtain and meet the man without the tits, let's see the icon at work. Take a look. Turn it up. Okay, my darling. Live television.
I'm Miss Richfield in my favorite city, Philadelphia. Independence Hall. I gotta get a photo. Oh. Ding dong, Liberty's calling. Someone should fix that. So many new Philly friends. The Rocky Stars. Go, Adrian! Smile. And the nightlife never stops in Philly. Or almost never. I love this city. Book your stay now.
Please welcome Mr. Russ King. Surprise, you never probably saw Russ. What would you like to drink, my darling? Mocktail, cocktail, what are you drinking?
Club soda.
Club soda. So Mel,
This makes me feel like I'm drinking.
Thank you for being here.
Well, this is so strange. I've never been on stage without...
Have you not? Never.
Never. Yeah. Not on this stage.
Not on this
Not
stage.
on this stage.
And you've played this stage many, many, many years. How many years have you played this?
Oh man, those are good memories. I started out in P-Town. I was 40, and I've been here for 20 years. So that gives you. Hey,
There you go.
baby. Thank you.
Cheers. Let me do it. Mwah.
Clink.
Everyone.
Clink. Mazel tov.
Cheers.
Yes. I'll tell you. I got here in 2002. I came a couple times just to get a job, and the only way you get a job here is to show up and put your outfit on and run around town. I mean, that's how I got my job. And then 2003 I started, and the only way I could get this job is I had to agree to do karaoke for the whole summer and 5 shows a week. And then I did showgirls, so I did 7 times a week. I was in drag the whole time. But you know what, it was so awesome. It was such a great thing, and I had been trying so hard for so many years that it was just a blessing. You know, I just took it as, I mean, I was going broke. And I got here, and I had the cabaret room, which they're not using this year,
Right.
and at 10:30, and the show would always start at 10:45. So you can imagine what kind of crowd that brought. Crazy.
It's kind of like this crowd, but this is a good crowd.
It's a great crowd. I was sitting back there
So
listening
much
to
fun.
it.
So much fun.
And friends, I mean,
So much fun.
Hey.
Very special.
All these friends.
You see, we've got Jasper, we've
Jasper's
got
here.
Christopher Penny, Edie's in the house.
Edie's in the house?
Edie's in the house right here with Jamie. Edie, who's going to be my guest in August. Hello.
Oh, there, oh, there.
I think Jeff is here. There's so many wonderful people. Some Broadway diva friends of mine are here, the girls, so that's great. So you, to me, you're like the face of Provincetown. You really are, because you're everywhere. You're like, you run the carnival, you've been in the front of the parade, you're on that damn scooter, like back and forth. Everyone knows you. You're so funny. Like, do you feel the love? Do you feel that you're like royalty here? You really are.
Well, one thing I did right away is I got involved because I'm telling you, like, and Edie kind of attests to this too, of when you're new and you walk up to the box office, you know, and they tell you you've sold 5 or 6 tickets. It is like demoralizing, and you realize I gotta get out there, and so we get out there, And it took me years and years and years, and I remind people that, because right now I don't have to really bark hardly at all.
Right.
Some, I still get out there, but
They come to see you. They come to see you.
It's 20 years, but probably 10 years of really good hard, 10 years of good hard barking. I mean, like out on the street, and I would be out there until the last second, and I would run in here, and I would change my clothes, and because of the way they run things here, nobody checked in with me. They would just start the music. Whether you're ready or not, I'd be like, zipping it up, like, grab the microphone. So a lot of times I would pre-record the music, just so my voice, just so I wouldn't actually have to sing it, just so I had that extra 10 seconds
to just get your
right.
thoughts
I
together.
don't have tits. I don't put tits in, so I'm always kibitzing without my tits. I don't have any tits.
I have tits. You want to see my nipple? Look at my shoes. It's right there.
I always say as Miss Richfield, I tuck them into my pantyhose. You know, they're down here.
How did you create Miss Richfield 1981? I said it a little in the bio, but how did the look come together? How did you form that creation?
I was really fortunate that it kind of came organically, and I think of my friends such as Edie and other people who I think it came organically for a lot of us who had an interest in performing and just wanted to perform. And I was working at the AIDS Project at the time, and I was of the age, like I was in college when AIDS first became a thing, like in the news, and we knew what it was. And so I volunteered in AIDS work. I did AIDS hospice work for years, and then I actually got into communications. My background's journalism, so I got into PR work in AIDS work with the Minnesota AIDS Project. And so I did a couple of drag things there for fundraisers where, and believe it or not, like we had a staff of like 60 people and nobody did drag, so I thought, well, you know. So I did, you know, I threw the wig on and put, you know, and I just thought, well, you know, you want to see what you look like. And so then it just kind of moved on from there. I did a couple fundraising things, and I went to a Miss America party, and that's when I became Miss Richfield, because I had to have a title. And yeah, so Miss Richfield 1981. And then I wanted to try it on stage. And it was my friend at the AIDS Project who saw pictures of me at a party and said, you should be on stage. And it really was her. She was just a straight woman who got a kick out of it. She had a lot of gay friends. And she said, I think Miss Richfield would be good. And so I went down to the local, I went to the gay 90s, if anyone's been to the Twin Cities, and got on stage. And yeah, and it was, and the look came just by accident because I had a black wig.
A black wig.
And I took it and somebody said, you should take this to a stylist. And I was just gonna put the wig on. You know, I just combed it and I was gonna put it on. It was a flat page boy. So I took it to some Mo, and I go to pick it up, and it was just, what have you done to my wig? I couldn't even tell the front from the back of it. I was like, what is this? I didn't know what was going on. So that's how that happened. Because I thought I would, you know, because I thought, oh, this flat page boy would be cute, you know, so I'd come out with this huge thing. And then the gloves came because I was emceeing shows, and I couldn't, and the nails never stayed on. And so I thought, ugh, and my nails were getting ruined because I was gluing them on, and I was still working full time. So, you know, I still had an office job, and my nails looked terrible, so I thought, you know, just wear gloves.
Right.
So that's how the gloves, and the glasses I think came on, because I really could never do makeup. And I'm colorblind, I'm fairly colorblind. So I couldn't do any contouring, I couldn't do any of that. Just I'd use black and white and a little rouge. Those are the only colors I use, black and white and a little rouge and glasses and bangs, and I cover up as much as I can cover up. But the character really, I worked in that bar for probably 6 months, and I started to drink and perform. And my friend said, you gotta get out of here, because you're gonna ruin this character. Because the people love the character. Because, you know, I would say on a Saturday night, like, does anyone live in South Minneapolis, you know, and they would raise their hands and be like, can I get a ride home? Because I've got to teach Sunday school for my friend Lorraine tomorrow morning, you know. And I'm teaching second grade Sunday school. Could you give me, you know, and they would just get a big kick out of it, but it didn't work when she drank. And when she got drunk, that it just didn't work. And I never swore, and then I would swear, when I swear like a sailor normally, but not when I'm Miss Richfield. And so I got out of it because of this guy. He said, you just need to leave. And so I started working in a cabaret, and with a couple other queens, a little Jewish woman that played piano for me, and an Italian guy that was our announcer. And it was called Bryant McBowl. It was a bowling alley restaurant, cabaret. It was perfect for Miss Richfield. And it was so tiny that the people would put their food on because their knees would be touching and it served food. There was just no room for anything. So as you're walking around the stage, you're walking around food. So it was just a great start. You know what I mean? It worked really well for her.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then the character in the show initially, just to tell you kind of how it eventually got going, is it was a Christian radio broadcast. So you were watching Miss Richfield do her Christian radio broadcast on KLAP, Hey Listen and Pray, where we hope the clap is a blessing in your life, and we hope that you share the clap with your family and friends, and every bad clap joke you can come up with. And so that's kind of how the character evolved. And then I never really knew who the character was. I listened to tapes of Frances Faye. If some of you are old enough queens to know who Frances Faye is, she was a open lesbian performer in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. And but then my brothers came to the show one time, and they were like, "That's Mom. You're doing it." You're doing it. And I was like, "Really?" And they were like,
Interesting.
"Yes." And then my mother, after my dad passed away, my mom wasn't involved, but when my dad passed away, she was involved. Then she came to every Christmas show that I did.
She was your supportive,
She loved it and never had a clue. Like my sister-in-law she has no clue that she's watching herself. Just she thought it was hilarious. That lady is funny, and I would even say things that she said, No clue.
And you're so clever. Your shows every year are new. You write, and I think you answered this question when you came out because you've never been on stage as a man. Have you ever tried your comedy and your witty humor as a man ever?
Once. I did it one time, and may I suggest, don't do it. Don't ever try it. It was a disaster. Early on, I was and I was new, so I didn't know what I was doing so much, but I got hired by General Mills, who's in the Twin Cities, and they had some kind of award show, and they didn't want Miss Richfield, they wanted me. They said, "Oh, I think you would be a good MC." And it was horrible. I mean, I was terrible. It was awful, and it was demoralizing, and I just thought, I can never do that again, and I never have.
You never have.
I never have.
And like you said, this is the first time you're on a stage with a spotlight on you.
Yeah.
Let's applaud that. I have to. They love you. I'm going to show a couple of photos of you all dolled up. So this look, that's the look.
Looking good, always from above. That's a flattering angle.
That's good. That outfit, where do you get your outfit?
That was a gift from a friend who got it at a secondhand store.
Very good. Let's see this. What do we have next, my dog?
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Right there. That's a great look.
I still have that skirt. No, that skirt's from Hustler. That is from Hustler.
Is it from Hustler?
Yeah, it's from Hustler.
Okay, you look great. Your body, you work out as well?
No.
No working out. No working out.
Not even close. No, I don't.
Nothing. Let's see what.
Oh.
Now this is a
That's
shot.
a bad angle.
I want to know. But you play in your show, usually at the end, you play the saw.
I do.
And you play it. Tell us a little bit about that. I didn't want you to bring the saw and work tonight, but what is that about? How did that evolve? A lot of people probably know that have seen you do it.
Well, early on, before I started, just about the time I started traveling with Atlantis Events, when I met Edie and some of these other friends, which was an awesome time in my life, really opened me up to a whole new level of, because I was doing local stuff, but it was really something else to travel and go work with people from all over the country and other great performers. So anyway, so I thought, God, I should have an instrument. A lot of people have instruments, and I was thinking of a guitar, because I play the guitar.
Okay.
And it was going to be too much, because it's another piece of luggage, so I couldn't do that. Then I thought the ukulele, but Tiny Tim was still alive. Do you remember Tiny Tim? And he lived in the Twin Cities. And so I was like, oh, I can't do the ukulele. That's just going to look too copycat. Then I thought the little accordion, but Judy Tenuta, if some of you remember Judy, she's still around, but she always played that. And so I thought, what can I do? It's got to be something I can travel with. And a friend told me this story about his pastor in northern Minnesota who used to play the musical saw. And I was like, oh, the musical song would be great because I'd only seen it maybe done once and I couldn't even remember where it was. So I looked it up on the internet. This is 1999. And the internet was vastly different. So all it would give you is every time it was mentioned. So it's like mentioned like 437 times, and it just gave you all these websites of where it was mentioned. And I finally found a company that sold it. So they sold the novelty instruments, and they sold it with, it came in a gun case, literally a gun case that you could carry around with, and then a saw, a bow, and then some lessons and 2 cassette tapes. This tells you how long ago this was. One cassette tape had the violin and piano playing, and the other cassette tape was just piano playing. So you could play with that, so you could put it in your tape recorder and play with the tape. And it was 3 easy lessons, and you just have to have good pitch. And like a month later, it was in the show, and it's been in the show since.
So you were a quick study? You were a pretty quick study.
It's pretty easy. It's actually.
And vocally, have you studied voice? Because you sing it throughout your show. Like, what is that about?
Never.
You don't lift your palate and open up your, like the other one? You don't do that?
What does she do?
No. I'm talking about Randy Roberts, technically. Do you do anything technical with your voice? Or do you use your diaphragm, or you just blow it out?
I just breathe. I just take a big breath and let her rip.
Really?
Yeah, I think, is Varla here? Jeff refers to them as
really?
I think he refers to them as steel rods or something in my throat. He's just like, oh my God, how do you feel like you never lose your voice, you get out of the street screaming and then come in and sing. But I'm really fortunate. I don't have many vocal problems at all. I'm very fortunate, but I do try to breathe right. I do, I've got less. I don't have lessons, but I've heard people talk about how you're supposed to.
Yeah. I have some friends.
I don't know what I'm saying.
There are friends in the audience
No
that
idea.
teach voice that are here,
Really?
and they say you need to do this and do that. But as long as you keep your voice and you don't lose it, you're doing 5 nights a week.
Yeah.
You're fine.
And I used to use a different voice for Miss Richfield when I first started. It was kind of a voice like this, something different, kind of fun, like, oh, funny lady. And then I was just hurrying my voice. I would wake up in the morning and I'd be hoarse, and I thought, oh, I've got it. So one day, I just changed it to my voice, and the audience just was like, "Wow, okay, that's a different voice." And one day I just changed it. I thought, well,
that's it.
Do
And the rest is history.
Yeah, and it was the right thing to do because I don't have that vocal problems. I'm really blessed. Really blessed.
Let's turn the lights up and do a little audience question. Anyone have? I see there's a fan right in the front. That has a Miss Richfield shirt. Just yell it out. What do you have?
Do you have a question? Any questions?
Yeah, we're gonna.
Oh, look at this.
So I'm really curious about your creative process, like your writing. Like, how does that come about?
Oh yeah, I don't think of it as writing actually. Yeah, I think that like a note card is usually but it's interesting you asked that because I have had to come to terms kind of with how I write. And because you hear from these people that have these you have these people that have this fabulous process, right? They do this and they do that and they talk to friends and then they write a draft and then they send that out and then and I just don't do that. I come up with a title that I think is interesting and then I write a show. So so I usually think of a topic. Like this time I was going to call this show Good Touch, Bad Touch. That's what I wanted to call the show. Which I thought was a great title. But every time I talked to somebody, nobody got it. It was so weird. Do you get it?
Slightly.
Yeah. Because it must be something that was either Midwestern or it must have been only in a time, but it was and it wasn't taught to me, but it was like taught to my nephews and nieces about, good touch and bad touch, trying to teach kids if you're touched inappropriately to talk to somebody about it. And so then I thought, okay, I can't use that. I talked that around, and then I was like, God, it's got to be something. I want to talk about the cancel culture, and it's like, cancel culture hurdles. So then, and then I just write a show around it, and this show is really fun because I have had, and I think most of us have had, situations where people have complained about us. Off and on. And so I actually had 3 examples in my show of things that have happened to me where, I was kind of canceled. And it's really fun. So it's kind of an autobiographical show. And I remind people through the show, they're real stories because, I think people can think you're making it up. And then I have someone that helps me write music. Nate Buccieri, who some of you know from Atlantis Events, and he's great. He's a New York performer, and he helps me write. But other than that, I kind of come up with a script, and then and then it evolves a little bit because I like to talk to people, and so each night it's a little different.
Yeah, you're very great with the improv. You're very good at the arts.
Well,
That's an art form in itself. I know what that's like.
If you come to enough shows, you'll hear the same stuff over. You go through the Rolodex, and you got those certain cards that keep popping
You
up.
got a few things there.
Yeah.
Do you have any rituals? We'll get back to the audience. Any rituals before you go out on stage that you do as an actor?
Interesting you say that. I don't do. I try to stay away from that because I have friends who do that. Like my friend Bob Smith, who's passed away a number of years ago. Just an amazing guy. Yeah, he was such an amazing guy. And he was one of the people that tried to get me in here and like put the word around, and I got close, but I didn't quite get in, and so he's just a friend. But anyway, God rest his soul. But he said he couldn't have anything in his pockets, weirdly enough. So there's all these weird things that these people have, and I thought, I don't want to do that. And so I try never to have the same, and try not to do that. And there's some people that have to take a dump, or they have to, they're like there's something they have to. And, what are you going to do when there's no bathroom? It's like you're not going to go out on stage. But the only thing I do, and this has been probably the last 10 years, is every time I go out now, and this is something I do every single time before I do anything. I didn't do it before this actually, but. I say that, and some of you might know this if you grew up Christian, is the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi. And it's a great prayer, and it really talks about being an instrument of love, and where there's hatred, let me sow love, love, where there's injury, pardon, where there's doubt, faith, where there's despair, hope, where there's darkness, light, where there's sadness, joy. And it's just this beautiful prayer about being an instrument. And I think to myself, because the thing I struggle with, and I know other performers would agree with me, is reacting to the audience. And we're emotional. If you're a performer, you're an emotional person. You cry easy, you laugh easy. You're just an emotional person. And no matter what kind of shell you put on, you're emotional. That's what makes you able to do this. And so what I was finding is, if the audience didn't respond well to me, I got mad at them. And so, and then when you get mad, the comedy just stops. I mean, it's just like, you might as well just refund their money and say, just go home, it's over. And so that helps me not get mad at the audience and not have expectations. Like, every audience is going to be different. Last Tuesday was like church, and I had all sorts of friends there. I was like, oh God. But I kept going. I kept thinking of that prayer, like, okay, I'm going to be an instrument. I'm going to be an instrument of joy. I'm going to be an instrument of, I'm not going to, and then it works, and then I'm fine. But man, if I get derailed, oof, it's bad.
So during the act, it comes back to you. You refer to it. You have to keep on that train, that lane.
Yes. Of like, I want to be an instrument of peace and joy to people, and they're not here for me. I'm here for you, and that's kind of hard to remember. But people pay to see me. I always tell people, you're my boss, really, when you think about it. They're our boss. You're employing me. The Pilgrim House isn't employing me. You are, as patrons.
Thank you for sharing that. That is very,
remember
thank you
that.
for sharing that.
Yeah, it's tough, but you gotta remember that, right? Edie's clapping. Yes. Right, Edie? Right.
Anybody else have you have a question? Daniel.
As a person unaware of fitness, what is your favorite breakfast sandwich? Because I know you're a morning person.
Oh yeah, about 10:30 or 11 o'clock I like to have for breakfast, because that's about the time I get out of bed, is I like to have the number 3 at the coffee pot. So if anyone out sees me at the coffee pot and you want to get the food for me, the number 3 on a croissant. But I like a good Jimmy Dean, sandwich, and then I usually have fruit with it. The Farland. Oh, the high head. The high head is on ciabatta. Yeah, always the high head on ciabatta. It's delicious.
Anybody else? Someone had right here.
your shows tend to be very wholesome. We've been taking our kids to see you since they were 4 or 5 years old. Are you that wholesome? Do you ever say something that you go past what Miss Richfield is allowed to say, and you cringe to yourself in a show? Like, cause you get to that line, but I've never seen you go over that line. And I feel like you have to have stuff in your head many times that you just have to hold back.
Yeah, and I think some of that comes with experience. And because earlier on, I would, well, some of you remember some of my earlier shows, like Asians and Homos and Jews, oh my, you know, so that was a good one. That was a good one. And, you know, my bingo show where each B-I-N-G-O stood for different things, you know, and I remember B's, you know, what does B stand for? B stands for Jews, you know, and everyone was thinking banker, but I said bagels, right? It's not bankers, bagels. So, but, you know, it was, I feel like in the past I was much more racial and edgy, and I would joke a lot more about that stuff, and I feel like, unfortunately now, it really has a voice in society, and it didn't so much before this, and I don't do much of that anymore, because it really has a voice, and it's in our politics, and it's in our news all the time, people hating each other and saying terrible things, and I don't want to be a part of that, and I know Lisa Lampanelli years ago got out of her work because of that. Because she was an insult comic, and I don't know if many of you remember Lisa Lampanelli, but she's very, very funny. But she eventually got out of it, you know, because she was like, I just feel like I can't do it anymore because of our culture and where we're at. You know, people believe that stuff. I mean, it used to just be ha ha ha.
Right.
Now it's like, ugh. So I don't mind teasing about us, gay men, being a gay man, and you know, so forth. But I'm pretty careful now not to. And then the swearing thing, I don't know how I manage not to swear on stage, because I swear a lot when I'm not on stage, but somehow I manage to not swear when I get in the character. I really don't swear, I don't use bad language, and it seems like kids get what they get, and what they don't get, you know, is okay. You know, I think there's a lot of movement and color and sound, and so I don't know, I'd be interested, did your kids enjoy it when they were little? Really?
It's interesting about the comedy because doing Joan Rivers, you know, Joan got away with a lot. So as Joan, I could say, you know, I am not a racist. I don't care if you're black, white, yellow, or green. As long as you can do my hair, that's what counts.
Yes.
So I can still say those things.
So much.
And so, but young comedians and maybe like yourself, it's, you know, it's hard to cross that line. But Joan
was great.
Joan can get away. I could say, you know, I lost my whole family in Auschwitz. They were on the end of the tour bus and it broke down. I was waiting in the gift shop for hours. And I do it, and people laugh.
People laugh.
But it's Joan.
Yeah.
So I think I have license to kill. You know, it's like. So it is. It's interesting. Anyone else have a question?
That is really good.
Way in the back.
On this side.
Man, over here, yeah.
You're a wonderful man, and you're a wonderful man in a dress. I went to a show of yours where there was a family from Vermont, and there was a woman that like ran up on stage and doing your LOVE.
Oh, right. Just recently. What was going through your mind? I knew her, and so, and she was overserved. And she was sort of to the front. And so in my head, I'm like, she's overserved. And so I thought she was just running up on stage to, I don't know, like do LOVE with me. But then she started to sort of touch me. Like I'm doing the leg, I was doing the leg thing. That's where I was, where I said LOVE with my legs. And she suddenly like sort of touching me and sort of like, she's like, so, but I knew Della is our show director, and have you seen Della? She didn't stand a chance. This woman didn't stand a chance against Della. Della was like 3 times the size of this woman. And so I knew Della was in the back, and literally 2 seconds later I could see the woman being pulled off of me. And, I couldn't see Della, but I saw the woman disappear. I thought, that's Della. And yeah, and you know, so I wasn't worried, but otherwise, I don't know what I would have done. I suppose I would have had to just stop the choreography because she yeah, she's kind of all over the place. But and that's the struggle with doing shows here in P-Town, as opposed to doing things in theaters. People sometimes are just so overserved here, and then they continue to serve them because the wait staff's trying to get through. Everybody's gonna try to make it through the summer. It's like okay, which I can understand. But when you're in theaters around the country, that doesn't happen. It's very seldom. But that was crazy.
Anybody else? Was there someone on here? There's a few. Okay.
Yeah.
What it's like to be a performer, what it's like to be a man, is just incredibly intellectual.
Oh, well, appreciate you saying that.
Thank you.
That's very kind of you to say that.
We're gonna keep this going. So
Appreciate you saying that. That's very nice. That's very sweet.
Was there?
It's a lot of questions, but a thank you. A couple years ago, 2020 was the height of COVID, and we came up here for the summer. We just happened to get some space because everyone had canceled, and we were just like starved for entertainment. And we came to see you at the Pilgrim House, and it was in the parking lot. And
You were one of the only ones you involved.
we were probably 20 people that were there, and it was to see you come in on the scooter and entertain us at a time when we so needed it. And I got so emotional when the show was over that it was just so fabulous to see you. And so thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you for coming to see us. I think Carla would say the same thing. Thank you, because we were like, it was so fulfilling to be able to be in front of people again. She was, of course, poolside at a beautiful, where all the trees were lit and, beautiful screen behind her. I, on the other hand, drove my scooter up this gravel, path and got out and, walked across the gravel. But somehow it worked with my character. I don't know, it worked with my brand really well. But people are like, you should be in the parking lot more often. This is actually
Was it just you and Varla here during that time?
Dina was here. Who else was here, Jeff? Dina and you and I and there was somebody else.
Judy Gold, that was it.
Judy Gold. Yeah, there wasn't much. There was very few of us. And for us, because we were in a more public space than they were kind of hidden back here. So they were able to sort of, play numbers a little bit, but we couldn't because we were in a public space and they only allowed 50 people in a space at a time. It didn't matter how big it was. And that counted me, the light guy, the sound guy, and the waiter. And so we could only sell 46 tickets. And then everybody had to sit 6 feet apart. So, it was like...
Were you nervous? Were you like afraid to catch it?
Well, Varla will tell you this too. The weird thing is you would just talk, it was just black. You couldn't see anything. It was just this black hole.
They had to be 25 feet away from us.
We had to be 25 feet away from the people. So the front row is about where Mac is sitting there with that fabulous shirt. And so you couldn't see anything. And so then it was just wild. But we weren't supposed to bring people up on stage, and I did that until we got fined $350. And then I just continued to do it because I thought, well, if we're gonna pay $350, I'm just gonna keep doing it. But I would space people out, and I would, so they would be like 12 feet away from me. So we were very good about that.
Right.
We really, really were careful, and I think they were careful at the Crown here too. But we were very careful at the Pilgrim House to stay a distance.
There was a Tupperware party as well.
Was there? Was Dixie?
I want to say something.
Was Dixie here? Was she here?
I bought a set, yes.
Oh, I don't even remember. She must have been with us. She was with us. She was with us. Because she was going to ruin her shoes on the rocks, and so I offered her my shoes. But my feet were too big.
What size are you? Your shoes?
A women's 12. And she's like a women's 9.5. I'm like, dear God, she has real women's feet. You don't have like big man feet.
You too have it.
And I have what do they call them? Anyway, the
high arches
no,
or bunions?
bunions. I have bunions on each feet. So, you know,
Did you get surgically removed?
Not yet, not yet.
Eventually.
That's why I wear the big Herman Munster shoes.
Whatever works, the shoes, the gloves, the wig, you've got it going on. You're making millions of dollars. Why not?
You know,
You're Miss
not
Richfield,
billions.
1980.
I'm doing okay.
Anyone else have a question?
But I just lost my rental, my seasonal rental today. I just lost my seasonal rental.
You
I've
did?
had the same seasonal rental for 20 years.
On Washington, was
On
it?
Washington. And my landlady, and she was very, very old and very, very sick. And she passed away a couple days ago. And they just told us they're selling her. They're selling our houses. So after 20 years, so if anyone knows the seasonal rental out there.
What do you think you'll do? Like when do you have to be out?
End of the season. So next season, yeah.
So next season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If anyone has
Yeah. You got a lead on that.
Just one more thing. I'd like to say something.
Yep.
Frank.
Oh, Frank.
Yes.
Hi.
I just want to say to all of you that have been performing in Provincetown for all these years that you make people's lives so much better. We get moments in an hour at a time to not think about all the crazy shit going on in the world.
Amen
And
to
I
that.
really thank you.
Amen to that. Thank you, Frank. Well, this is really a special place, and a lot of people, you know, say you're not supposed to say unique. You know, nothing's really unique, but P-Town really is unique because I love Key West, where Randy's is. It's an amazing city. Palm Springs, Rehoboth Beach, where I live. There's lots of beautiful places, but there is no place that has entertainment like this. I'm just telling you, not only in the United States, I don't think there's any place in the world that has this. I mean, we are so blessed. So blessed.
Very special.
No idea.
Very, very special.
No idea how special and how blessed we are. And whether you're selling 100 tickets a night or 20 tickets a night, I always tell people just, you know, we're all lucky to be here. You know, it doesn't matter. It's not about the numbers and the dollars. It's really about just how lucky we are to be able to do this, do what we love. Very special. Very special.
You mentioned Rehoboth Beach. That's where you go when
That's
you're
my
done.
home.
You live in Rehoboth. I know that.
Just moved a couple years ago. Yeah, I was in Minneapolis actually, but yeah.
And married, single, married. I mean, I know the answer. But
Partnered for almost 6 years, 5.5 years. Yeah, and yeah.
And I know him, Dominic. Italian, very cute.
Italian, just like you, married Italian.
I married Italian. Actually, Frank is Joe Bosa's husband. We had that
Yeah.
But so, does he make a good gravy and meatballs, Dominic?
He does. He grew up in a his father owned a restaurant, so he cooks really well. Yeah.
So
And taught me the difference between gravy and sauce. And all of
What
that.
is the difference? I'm a Jew. I don't know what the fuck it is.
It's something like, it has to do with preparation. If you prepare it, Frank would know this, you know, with the meat in there, it's a sauce or a gravy, I don't know, it's like.
Yeah. As long as it tastes good.
There is a difference. Right. I clean up, that's what I do.
So you live in Rehoboth. I'll be in Rehoboth performing in the early August. You know, I go there. So I will be there early
I won't be
August.
there till
No,
the end of September.
I know, that happened last year too. And, but I remember you, I went to dinner and you picked up the tab. Somehow they said, Miss Richfield called and pick up your check. And I'll never forget that. You said, you're in my town, you don't pay. And you picked up the check via phone call.
You know, when you know stars.
Wow. Well, it takes one to know, man. I expect when I go back August 7th and 8th to do the same fucking thing.
Where were we? I guess, will you be at Diego's, or where are you going to be?
I'm going to be... Dude, Diego's, D-I-E.
Oh, I know it, yeah. It's a classy place you play. Diego's.
It's okay.
It's fun.
It's fun. I like Joe and Daryl. They're good to me, so I won't jump ship and go to Top of the Pines. I won't because I love them.
And that's why I'm at the Blue Moon.
We talked about that.
I've been with them for years.
So you don't want to jump ship, even though, you know, there's some venues that have opened up.
Some venues that are better, but I just hang with, if you're good to me,
That's
I'm
right.
good to
When
you.
you're good to mama.
And I could make more money someplace else, but I stay.
See,
Yeah,
we're
I
good people.
stay.
That's why we get along. Did we have the photo of us, did we do the oh, we didn't finish. I want to show the photo when I worked in Provincetown. There it is, you and I on the street.
Oh my gosh.
What is that? That was about.
Look at my hair. Oh my God. How long ago was that?
That, I think, was 14, 15, 16, 2015. We met on the street. I always would say you're my third cousin, you know, I don't know, Jewish cousin, yeah, whatever. But that was a great, did we have another photo, Andrew, or was that the last? I think that was the last one I wanted to show.
Oh, there we are.
Oh, your scooter, bam, bam, bam.
Look at her go.
That's you going to scooter, and one more, and then I think
that was Miss Richfield flies up to the cuckoo's nest.
I know, I think that was it. So, I could go all night. It's midnight on the nose, and I think everyone needs to. So I'm gonna do one more little game. I do Kiss It or Crush It, but with you I'm gonna do in honor of, remember James Lipton? It's called the Questionnaire.
All right.
And James Lipton from Inside the Actors Studio, remember, and in honor of him, it's called the Questionnaire. So I'm gonna do that with you because you're a star and you deserve this. So, what's your favorite word?
Oh God. Favorite word? Oh jeez. See, I'm not supposed to think about it. Just
What comes to mind?
Because everyone says fuck, right? It's their favorite word.
Well, that's coming later. Anything that comes to mind.
I'm just remembering the James Lipton moments where people would say it and it'd be bleeped, you know, because like, my favorite word I think is as far as joy. Joy is my favorite word. Joy.
When you give joy, so it's part of you.
Or I want joy in my life.
Yes. Least favorite word.
Hate. The other end of that. Yeah.
End of that. What turns you on?
Oh, jeez. Turns me on. Anything that I think what turns me on is because we're talking about this live performance, being in front of people is really, and that immediate response. I love being in front of a crowd.
Yeah. And what turns you off?
I think what turns me off the most is being around too many people too much. It exhausts me. Like I'm very much of an introvert. Yeah, if I'm around people too much, it exhausts me.
And yet what you do, I mean, you're out.
I'm around people all the time. I'm exhausted. I'm tired now.
Yeah, I appreciate that you're here.
This is exhausting me.
I'm almost done. And you had a show tonight, your job. What sound or noise do you love?
What sound or noise do I love? Well, applause.
Applause?
I love applause.
What sound or noise do you hate?
And I hate loud, I hate anything, surprisingly anything loud. Like any jet, motorcycle, trucks. I live on Bradford, you know, loud noises. I don't like loud noises, I don't.
Right. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Other than my own? I enjoyed journalism, I enjoyed writing, so if I was going to do something else, I'd be a writer.
And that's what you started. You started earlier in the conversation.
Doing.
That's what you were doing.
That's what I did.
And what profession would you not like to participate in?
Oh, one that I wouldn't. Oh, anything with food.
Because?
I go into a kitchen, I want to take a nap. I've never been good with food. I like food, but
you dine out.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
So you don't cook.
I do not cook. Not at all, ever, never.
If heaven exists, and it does, because I'm there, and I have to go back.
Right.
I gotta go back, and I'm only here for you, for people. For this moment, I gotta go back up. They've been playing me off. If heaven exists, what would you like God to say to you at the pearly gates when He greets you?
You're on in 15 minutes.
We're going to show your poster. We want everyone to go see if you have not already. Miss Richfield, 1981. Where's the poster?
There it is. Cancel Culture Girls.
They're there all season. They don't have the dates on there or time.
I'm there until Monday through Friday at 9. Easy to remember. And then weekends after Labor Day till the 17th.
Of September, you're here along. Yeah, so go see Mr. Joe 91 if you haven't at the Pilgrim House. Amazing. We're gonna do that photo op. Where's Michael? I'm paying him a lot of money. Let's do it. Ready? Let's do that thing. Here we go.
Oh, and a gift. Oh, look at this bag.
I know, it's all, I traveled with it. Look, it looks like it.
This doesn't look like it came from heaven. It looks like it might have come from someplace else.
I have a staff and they came by bus. So let's
All right,
see.
should I open it?
Yeah, open it and then we'll
Okay, hang on. Now he got a candle. I got a candle.
And they're easy to travel with. What did you get? What flavor?
Lemon.
What does it say?
It says a Sicilian lemon.
Because you're having an Italian husband, I wanted you to feel at home.
Is it gonna blow up when I light it?
No, it's not. No, that's a good one. No, it's gonna yell at you. What the fuck are you doing? It's Sicilians have tempers. Russ King, you are here as a man. This is a gift. This is a gift. Mr. Russ King, thank you so much. Oh, that's the show. It's 12. It's 12:05. Did you have a good time? We're going to keep this show moving forward. In August, the end of August, on the 23rd, I believe, I'm going to have the one and only Edie, Christopher Kenny, who's here in the yellow hat, who is amazing doing his show, the P.O. Cabaret. Edie with a D, and was the MC of Zoomanity for 16, 17 years. We're going to talk to her. And we're going to talk to Anita Cocktail on August 25th. So tell your friends, and we're going to just keep this going. Thank you for all for being here. I have special friends here, and Edie and Jamie and all of you, and thank you so very much. I'll see you outside, and we'll take some photos. Thank you, and good night. Well, that's our show. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.